was a terrible live performer in the beginning. My first show, I forgot the lyrics. Such a strong belief in yourself that you can quiet out all the outside noise, because you're gonna need that on every step of the way. You know, there are people that are projecting their fears and their shortcomings and failures on you. And you have to be very careful, you know, with that. People telling you can't do that. Why can't I? You know, because they may have tried, or they don't believe that they can do it. And it's not really about you, it's about what they feel and their fear inside. So you have to be strong enough and resilient to believe in whatever it is you're trying to do, and, you know, good luck with it. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. That's life. Everything is life. It happens for you. Everything is for your greatest good. No matter what it looks, I mean, you know, they say you want to make God laugh, tell them your plans, right? You can't control the future. I mean, you can control it up to some point. You can't control what others do. You can't control anything. Someone can run a red light, and that's the end of everything. You know, you only can control what you can control.
Beginning, it was like, okay, we're gonna get a deal. And then, you know, through the frustration of going through the labels and seeing the A&R in that position, like, what are you doing? You in Bentleys every day. You don't know nothing about this music. How could you possibly know what's going on? And seeing the people that was in the A&R position, you're like, nah, something ain't right up there. I can't mess with that. So we was like, boom, we're gonna do a video. But we went to St. Thomas, we did a video. So he's like, we did that video ourselves, and we got this buzz, and we got that exposure. Why can't we just do the whole thing ourselves? Why can't we just do a record company? And we was like, yo, let's go. We started out real small, going to the store. I was going to the store myself and dropping $200, $300 worth of records there, leaving on consignment. Come back my little $300 and put it there again. Like, we literally was driving our cars going around. Dane would hit the Bronx and Harlem. You know what I mean? I was hitting Brooklyn and Queens. And we just took it from there.
There's a knowing in being an artist. There's a knowing. You can't guess. You can't think. There's a knowing. You have to know that even if it may not work today, it may not work tomorrow, but this is the right thing, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what's feeding me. I want to be held accountable for what I'm doing, right? It keeps me sharp, let me know that I can't play around. I have to do what I said I'm going to do. I'm self-motivated, so that's fine. You know, the extra pressure is fine too. I walk in every room as myself. I don't walk in any room as anyone else. I'm not cowering, I'm not speaking soft, my voice doesn't change, it sounds exactly the same way. I'm walking as myself and proud, and I speak for us, and that gives me a joy. I'm honored to be in those rooms, and so, yes.
Has there ever been a point where Jay-Z feels that he kind of got bored with his success, or he's hit a certain point where, like, okay, I've reached my plateau, or I'm good at this point? Where you kind of got bored with it, maybe a little bit?
That happens often, you know, when I've succeeded any goal that I set for myself. So I have to constantly push myself to do things and really understand, you know, stay focused and know why I'm doing them at this point. At this point, it's more so for the culture and for what we do, you know, and what we can, and the things we can attain, and the doors we can knock down. You know, the same way that Russell and the guys before me, you know, was doing things and owning companies and different things, and, you know, they left the door open for me to where I can sit in this seat. I have to do that for the next generation.
What remotivates you when you get tired and you say, I'm cool right now?
Just that, pretty much that, the responsibility of being successful. They're fighting it because, you know, it means you have to work now. You know, they're gonna see
at 2 in the morning when you get that phone call, you've got to pick up.
You have to work now, and they're not comfortable with that. They've been spending 15, 20 years just sitting back collecting a check, you know, and now they have to get out and they have to get up and they have to work and they have to care about these clients, because they're gonna see the work that we're doing and say, hold on for a second, what have you done this week? And, you know, those questions are going to start coming. So they're intimidated by that, the fact that they have to work, and they're intimidated by the fact that their clients will want to come to us. But if they're doing a great job, there's no reason for any client to switch.
In your book, you start describing that you're a hustler. I didn't even know what that meant really by hustler, but a hustler means a guy who gets people to do what they want them to do.
A manipulator, a master manipulator?
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it. You know, hustler is anybody, like you can be a hustler. A hustler is anybody that gets up every single day and figures out a way to make good for themselves in this society. Hustler is anybody who has the drive to make something happen for himself. Every human being has genius level talent. There are no chosen one. God is giving every single person genius level talent. You just have to find what it is you're great at and then tap into it. Thing to be is as successful as someone else. You know, that's a very difficult thing to upkeep, and it's very tiring. You know, I feel sorry for someone who has to walk out the house every day as someone else to make this art and to make something that people connect to. And whatever you've made is not you, and you're not happy about it, but it's successful. Just to maintain that level of success, it has to be very draining and, you know, a very sad existence, because at some point you have to go home. And when you go home, you know, all the lights are off and everything's off, and you have to look in the mirror and you have to look at yourself and say, man, I like who I am, or I'm not very happy with who I am. Be true to yourself. You know, it sounds like a very simple thing to do, but it's not. It's not simple to do with all the pressures to succeed and all the pressures to, once you succeed, to stay there. Don't listen to anyone because their experience is unique to who they are. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people will try to put their fears on you. You can't do that. No, you can't do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they just projecting, they're putting things that they don't believe that they can do on you. And you may possibly can do it. Like my uncle. My uncle, he was telling me, like, my uncle said I never sell 1 million records. I sold 1 million records like 1 million times. You know, so he was, I'm sure I'm his nephew. I know I don't think he meant any malice.
He wanted the best for you, but he
just was
didn't
projecting
believe.
his fears and things that, are you crazy? How are you going to do that? How? You know, I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. But he couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting, putting his fears on me. So the whole thing is just, you know, and always believe you're great, even before anybody else believes it. This thing about this younger generation, they have the information, right? Because it's at their fingertips, right? And they are bold, right? Because they believe they have more information than us at that time. And in some ways they do. You know, but information without understanding is nothing, right? Because on a cigarette box, it has, this can kill you, and people still smoke. So it's not just information. Gotta be understanding of information and who it's coming from. I don't listen to everything. I don't really care to listen to everything. I actually don't want to listen to anything. So if it makes it to me, that means you know, you're doing something right. Sometimes people's success, you know, make people feel, instead of saying, wow, that person's successful and I'm inspired. Well, some people are. Some people are like, that person's successful, I'm gonna strive and I'm gonna be exactly where they are. And some people are just like, they got the reverse attitude, like their success means my failure. So I hate that success. So I have to make some kind of explanation of why they're here and why they shouldn't be here, and then why they wouldn't be here if this person was here. Who thinks like that? If you take that long to think about someone why they shouldn't be here, then you're good, and you should be doing something with that intelligence. Right? You should apply that intelligence to something else. Absolutely. Right? If you like, that person would be here, you're like a scientist. You should really be figuring out some shit that can help us in the world. Money to us is me and my 3 friends on the floor at the Golden State, not because the seat's expensive, but because that's what we doing. You never seen that. You know what I'm saying? That's or building brands and pushing it forward, and that can't be the end all. That can't be our goal to get money and then show it on the internet. That can't be our goal. That's some corny shit. You can do it. I've been saying this. Change is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. That's my first album. I've always been trying to give people game and like, here, man, learn from my experiences. I'm not even saying I'm better than anyone. All I'm saying is like, yo, I touched that. I did that.
So you don't go through that.
Hov did that. So I can give you lyrics. I can do this. We can do this until the night falls.
Yeah, right.
I've always went through things and said, yo, my man. And that's all I want to do for the young. I want them to be better than me. I want them to go further. I want to look back and be like, man, only two things could get you through this, man. That's patience and persistence.